There is a mountain on this planet that no human being has ever climbed. Not because it is impossible, because something is stopping them. In 2001, the Chinese government banned every single attempt to reach the summit. Forever. But here is what they never explained. Why did a group of Chinese monks, scientists, and researchers who spent decades studying this mountain come back from Kailash with a warning so disturbing it changed how we see this entire region? What they found does not just challenge history, it rewrites it. Mount Kailash sits in the remote western corner of Tibet. At 6,638 meters, it is not even the tallest mountain in the Himalayas, but it is the most forbidden. 4 of the world's oldest religions consider this mountain sacred. Hindus call it the eternal home of Lord Shiva. Buddhists believe it is Mount Meru, the center of the universe. Jains say their first prophet achieved liberation here. And the ancient Bon religion claims the mountain is a staircase to the gods themselves. For over a century, the world's greatest climbers begged for permission to summit Kailash. Reinhold Messner, the man who climbed Everest without oxygen, asked. He was denied. Every single request was rejected. Then in 2001, China made it official. No climbing, ever. The reason given was religious and cultural preservation. But preservation of what, exactly? That question led a team of Chinese researchers, monks who had spent their lives studying sacred texts, to investigate something nobody else had dared to look at. The monks were not looking at Kailash from the outside. They were reading what ancient texts said about the inside. For thousands of years, Hindu and Buddhist scriptures described Mount Kailash not as a solid peak, but as a gateway, a portal, a place where the physical world and the spiritual world connect. The Ramayana speaks of a city beneath the mountain. The Vishnu Purana describes tunnels that lead to other realms. Tibetan texts call it Axis Mundi, the axis of the world. For centuries, these were dismissed as mythology, beautiful stories, nothing more. But then the monks found something in the geological records that did not make sense. Beneath Kailash, seismic readings detected massive hollow spaces, not caves, chambers, structured, geometric, deliberate, and they were enormous. Here is where it gets strange. When you look at Mount Kailash from above, its 4 faces align almost perfectly with the cardinal directions: north, south, east, west. The same precision used in the Great Pyramid of Giza, the same alignment found in ancient temples across the world. Coincidence? At certain times of the year, the shadow cast by Kailash forms a perfect swastika, an ancient symbol representing the eternal cycle of life. Not the twisted version history remembers, the original. But the most disturbing discovery came from ground-penetrating radar. Beneath the south face, the monks detected a massive void, roughly 400 meters deep, perfectly rectangular. Nature does not create rectangles. When the monks presented their findings, something unexpected happened. Their research was classified. The seismic data disappeared. The radar scans were never published. One researcher, speaking anonymously years later, said the government told them something chilling. Some mountains are not meant to be understood. But the monks had already seen enough. They began comparing notes with Tibetan elders who had preserved oral histories for generations, and the stories they heard were unsettling. Elders spoke of sounds coming from inside the mountain, not wind, not animals, rhythmic, pulsing, like a heartbeat. Others described lights emerging from the summit on moonless nights, not aurora, something else. And then there were the pilgrims. Every year, dozens of people attempt the Kora, the 52-kilometer trek around the mountain. Most complete it in 3 days, but some never finish. Not because of altitude, not because of weather, because they claim the mountain changed them. Pilgrims who complete the Kora describe something impossible to explain: time distortion. One man swore he walked for 3 hours. His watch said 15 minutes had passed. A woman claimed she heard chanting, thousands of voices, but there was no one around her. When researchers studied these accounts, they found something bizarre. The pilgrims were not lying. Their brains showed patterns consistent with deep meditation, but at levels that normally take decades to achieve. The monks concluded something that terrified them. Mount Kailash is not just a mountain. It is a technology, not made by human hands, but designed to do something we still do not fully understand: affect consciousness, alter perception, open doors in the mind that we are not supposed to open. And that, they believe, is why climbing was banned. Not to protect the mountain, to protect us. Today, quantum physicists are discovering that consciousness and reality may be more connected than we ever imagined. The observer affects the observed. Consciousness shapes matter. What if an ancient civilization, one far more advanced than we credit, understood this? What if they built Kailash not as a monument, but as an instrument? We look at pyramids and temples and call them tombs and churches. But what if they were always something else? Machines, gateways, interfaces between worlds. The monks who studied Kailash did not publish a scientific paper. They published a warning. There are places on this earth that guard secrets older than humanity. Some secrets are meant to stay buried. Mount Kailash still stands, unclimbed, unconquered, unexplained. And maybe that is the point. Some mysteries are not meant to be solved. Some mountains are not meant to be climbed. Some truths are hidden not because someone put them there, but because we are not ready to see them. Yet.